Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Premier League presentation. Going to be bringing you guys a game between Alliance and Mouz Sports. Game 2 of this best of 3 series coming at you guys, and it is going to be an interesting one here. Alliance starting off a very similar way with the Triumph band, and Mouz Sports also taking out the Wisp. This time switching sides so that Mouz Sports indeed has the Radiant and the first pick. But yeah, last game only taken like 26 minutes or so, and some really good play from the Templar Assassin and from Alliance as a whole. So good to see that, but I'm curious to see if Mouz Sports have it in them to take this to Game 3 or if it's going to be a 2-0 shutout. Going to be fun to see this game coming on up for the grand finals of the Premier League Season 5 Mjolnir Cup. And see who's going to get that maximum point value, who's going to be going home with second place. But beyond that, thanks for tuning on in, guys. I myself am Blaze, joined by Triumph Man. What's up? Sorry, I was actually muted on your end, Triumph, but I did go ahead with my intro. What's up?
Okay, awesome. I was just wondering, I couldn't hear anybody. I'm like, all right. Anyway, so, and Mouse, but I think this is something a lot of teams forget lately, seeing as they're busy banning all of Bulldog's heroes against Alliance. They forget that Aki is probably one of the best, if not the best, Chen in the West, and they forget to ban it against him, against Alliance, and it tends to go also horribly. Also, horrible wrong shapes when Chen gets out in the field for Aki. He just basically causes a mess with the amount of heals he can bring. But there we go. Some pretty stock standard bans from Mouz Sports. They don't like the Wisp, so they ban it. On the other hand, Alliance really hate Tree, so they ban it just about every time. But Mouz Sports decide this time around they'll ban Chen, pick up Lone Druid, put it to work there. And in the meantime, Alliance will pick off the Bat Rider instead. So we'll have to see. I get the feeling we'll probably see Nature's Prophet get picked up in a second. What do you reckon, Blaze?
Yeah, most likely. I mean, it has been the most popular pick. It has the most potential in the different stages of the game than some other heroes, and really, the way Admiral Bulldog can play it really makes it so that it can have an impact, not only on the lane or the jungle that he's in, but on the map across as a whole. But we do see they take out the Chen. He says, screw it, I'll go with her counterpart, and that is going to be the Enchantress. That'll be a pretty interesting matchup there. Seeing him go in, okay, again for those neutral creeps and taking down towers very quickly, but this time armed with a couple other utility at his disposal. So it'll be pretty interesting. Nature Descendant being a great pushing mechanic to coincide with Nature's Prophet, and now they're just gonna draft up a little bit of extra damage for against the towers, and they're going to be in a great position to start things off in a very similar fashion.
To be honest, I'd rather see, if I had to pick between seeing Aki against me on a Chen or an Enchantress, I'd rather see him on the Enchantress, just because she's easier to burst down, to be dead honest. She's easier to pick off, and she doesn't quite, like, she has the earlier aggression with a creep, because she can get the earlier creeps out, but at the same time, she sort of fades out into the mid-game if you aren't building to work with the impetus there. So, I mean, he doesn't really have, I mean, the burst heal from Chen, the big deal is not just having the mech, but the Hand of God to go with it. It's a really painful thing. And then, of course, you can throw on the big test saves as well. So there is that. Whereas Enchantress, I mean, Wisp are nice for her, but they kind of suck balls at trying to heal anybody else rapidly in a fight because you can't reach them, and then the Wisps aren't that quick, so it's not fantastic. And I think, to be honest, Chen overall complements Aki's style more than anything else because he does play a lot more support than Enchantress. Like, Enchantress doesn't really want to do that much support. She wants to get her items. I mean, you get her an early argument, she does so much damage. You pick on a support like Lena or like Shadow, you can like literally 3-shot them. It's really gross the amount of damage it will do against them. But regardless, fatter on Puck again. And of course, we're seeing exactly how lethal he can be, but I just don't know if he's going to have the option here. And also S4. Templar Assassin being banned out. I guess he really made an impact last game. And when's the last time you've seen TA banned out ever since Bottle Crowing became a thing?
Yeah, I mean, 6.78, you just don't see a TA band. It doesn't make much sense. But, heck, if you're picking up the puck because Fata knows how much he can accomplish with it and knows that he wants the fights to end quickly, then you have to make sure that you're under control of the lane, and that just wasn't the case last time around, even with the Nyx Assassin coming in to lend a few mana burns. So, it's a very smart ban, despite the fact that it's rather unorthodox.
Also, they've banned out the Nakes as well. Mouz Sports, I mean, I really would have liked to see them get the Nakes in there. It goes so well with Puck. The Nakes bombs are fantastic, as we've seen all night. They're really influential, but I get the feeling like Alliance, they really like their Nakes as well for Loda, so they probably would have snapped it up. That said, they've picked up the Gyro Cup. I get the feeling it'll be Loda playing that, and we'll see him just farming away on that. Yeah, although I suppose, I mean, that said, we have seen some solid mid Gyro Cups tonight, as well as he can run it as a support at a pinch. So, you know what, it's still undecided where it could be, and of course, we'll see what they've got in mind. That said, I mean, Alliance have a pretty push-heavy lineup. They've got Enchantress there, they've got Nature's Prophet. They can get aggressive on towers pretty early on, and that might lend them to get fairly aggressive with Gyrocopter early on, because, of course, they can get out. They can get out his BKB fairly quickly if they take a few towers for him, and he gets a decent amount of farm in the lane. But Shadow Demon being picked up by Mouse Sports, so they won't have access to those big disruption saves, which were, again, last match, really influential at keeping people up and running. Had they not had the Chen during that last push, I don't know if they would have actually got the racks down, because, of course, Chen came right back in with the heals for everybody.
Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely going to be a different game than the last one we saw. I actually think the Gyrocopter is as much for Alliance as it is against Mouse Sports. With the Puck already on the table and the Lone Druid as well, I think Gyrocopter would have been a great hero to round up their lineup. They, of course, would have been struggling a little bit for supports, but what they lacked in that, they certainly secure in that synergetic team fight. Puck getting a good Dream Coil perfectly sets up Call Down Flat Cannon, and really, really goes for more emphasis on end the fight quickly before Enchantress's heal kicks in, and before too much can happen from the neutrals and from whatever Alliance else is bringing. But with Gyrocopter now in the hands of Alliance themselves, they have potential for Loden to go for some very powerful late game carry, and there's only so much that can stop them. I mean, with Gyrocopter picks up the Manta, Lone Druid's Berry isn't going to be nearly as threatening, and on top of that, if he picks up the BKB, he can nullify most of the threat of Puck. So I think that Alliance are going to be in a really, really good position as long as they can guarantee him some farm, and indeed they shall with their current setup of Enchantress and just one more hero. Didn't get the Shadow Demon for EGM this time around, but there are other alternatives, and we'll have to see if they end up going for something like a Rubik or what exactly. But Alliance are contemplating that with their last 20 seconds of reserve time.
I almost feel like Mouse Sports could quite easily justify getting a Luna. I mean, Black could farm that to no end, and on top of that, like Luna, if the Alliance are going for early aggression again, they can't really push in that quickly and that hard against the Luna, because you try and push in hard, they throw in an Eclipse, and suddenly you're taking a ton of damage. On top of that, she tends to go for the early BKB, so she can shake off the cooldown fairly easily as well. And, you know, she can spam from a good distance away. And, you know, we've got 1, 2, 3, well, that's Luna, 4 ranged heroes, so you're pushing uphill into a ton of extra damage from Luna Blessing. So it's pretty painful trying to go up against her. But that said, you know, they've gone for the tried and true method, which of course is Black on Anti-Mage. No real substitute for that. That said, can they hang on long enough? I mean, Alliance are going for, again, a fairly early aggressive lineup. I just don't know if Anti-Mage will get fat enough again. I mean, we saw last match, Alchemist got stupidly farmed, stupidly fat, and yet he just couldn't 1v5 them effectively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a difficult position to be in, but I think he really does have the support to back him up this time around. I mean, he did great previously, just kind of zoning out Darkseer and stuff like that, but in this position here, it's not going to come down to laning phase. We're going to see much more of a defensive properties from both teams, so it's going to come down more to with their 2.5 versus 1 or 3 versus 1. They're generally going to be in a position where Anti-Mage is guaranteed to get farm, Gyrocopter is guaranteed to get farm, and then it's what they do with it that counts. So AM getting a Battle Fury to split push will go inside very well with the Lone Druid and his potential to split push. I am kind of surprised that they didn't actually look into a Juggernaut, based on the fact that they do have a Lone Druid and a Shadow Demon, 2 heroes that just go so darn well with that hero. But Anti-Mage is definitely something more Black style, and I can see why they just want to go for the farming route. And beyond that, they're just in a position where once AM does start slamming and jamming, he is going to be able to lock people down pretty well. They get the 5 AM from Shadow Demons, Disruption, and plus the Manta style, and they have a lot of great heroes to use it on. I mean, Windrunner, Enchantress, Nature's Prophet, all very vulnerable as far as their mana pools, although Windrunner, of course, benefits a little bit more for her Windrun's survivability. Either way, Anti-Mage is going to be in a great spot until the Furion picks up his Hex, which is going to be the first thing on Admiral Bulldog's shopping list after maybe a Midas and Treads.
And they ban out the DK again. They are worried about S4 getting that here in the mid. We'll see what I'm pretty sure they're looking for some kind. Oh, whoa. Okay. The question is whether or not that is a loader trying to farm it, or if that's going to be S4. Yeah, in the mid lane. I mean, they've got a couple of options. They could try and do some wacky stuff. And, you know, something the Alliance have done in the past is go, you know, basically pull the rug out from underneath people with terms of lane rotation, hero rotations between different players. But that said, I mean, they could get pretty aggressive with that lineup early on.
Absolutely.
Pretty dangerous.
This is something that I was kind of expecting in last game, but of course the Templar Assassin was a much more appropriate pick, as we did see. But TA's banned out. They might as well give it a whirl themselves. the Devourer is going to be on the field, and that is going to give a lot of potency to their lineup in general. I mean, of course, that gives them Teamfight Ultimate with a pretty long cooldown. They also get immense laning presence from the OD in last hitting, and if they do get that matchup they're looking for, which of course is OD versus Puck, that is just going to be the worst time that the Puck could possibly have.
I think Mouse Sports will be daft to do that. I think they might almost go offensive tri-lane, Puck safe lane, and put Lone Druid in the mid, because Lone Druid can do okay against OD.
Yeah.
And the bear can harass and last hit for him, and just generally be aggravating, and OD can't really tank too many hits from it. That is, and doesn't have living armor to back him up here. And did we lose the Skype call again, or is that music getting back in?
No, I'm not sure. Exactly.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, with Lina, Anti-Mage, and Shadow Demon, they can get aggressive early on. They will have to watch out for Enchantress. Of course, she's very dangerous with early ganks, but at the same time, between Shadow Demon and Lina, I think they have the firepower to put a lot of pressure on, especially since Windrunner, Power Shot is nasty, but Shackle, really, they need to line that up correctly, or it doesn't really do a whole lot. So it's a little bit trickier. They can't just sort of throw out stuns willy-nilly, and just generally, it's not like trying to lane against something like an Earthshaker, where the fissure is just crippling. I mean, if you get slammed by that, it's very, very dangerous, but still. Windrunner and Gyrocopter. I mean, I'm pretty sure Shadow Demon and Lina can hold them off. That said, we've got to keep in mind Rocket Barrage is really painful, but Anti-Mage isn't looking to cripple their farm. He's just looking to sort of get his own levels, get his own farm happening. I
actually don't think they're going to go for an aggressive tri-lane. It's definitely an option for them, but what I'm kind of more thinking is that Quirko could just run the Lone Druid on the mid, and Puck could take the offlane. Fada's Puck is really, really good as far as survivability, and in this position, they don't have too much that can hardcore lock down a Puck. If he can phase out of a Shackle Shot that's forthcoming, Ake's neutral shouldn't be enough to secure a kill, or at least not likely to bring down Fata. He does also have some counter push, so that'll lend in more towards the top lane. So in general, I think that he's going to be perfectly fine to solo the top, and then only have Cinder in transition once the tower starts getting hammered on, and then need some Dragon Slaves to force them back.
I'll be honest, every time I've seen Puck try and take the solo offlane, he's gotten destroyed in competitive matches. Every time I've personally witnessed him do it in competitive matches. So, yeah. Like you do mention, though, they don't have a great amount of lockdown. That is true. He won't have to worry too much about that. But at the same time, it does worry me somewhat that he's just not going to find the CSL levels he wants here if they get aggressive, especially if Enchantress finds herself an early Wildkin and starts harassing him with that. That is really going to aggravate him quite badly, because Puck can't really do a whole lot against the Wildkin, and he can get chased around really bad. That phase shift is useless against it.
Yeah, I mean, who can? Everybody hates the Wild Wing Ripper. Almost as hateful as the Mud Golems, but, you know, one way or another. We're going to see the Invisibility Rune go up on top. They're going to start that off with, I believe Shadow Demon should start it off as an initiation tool, but of course the Dire know about it with an Observer Ward in place. Okay, immediately going to go for a Sentry, but not sure if he wanted to right-click right then. Obviously he did. He forced pause back, but obviously now they know that he doesn't have as many Sentries as he would normally. He only has one available, maybe going for a third. But for right now, it's going to be S4 OD going up against the Lone Druid, played by Koikwa, and it's going to be making sure that he doesn't have the mana to summon a bear, and also giving S4 some nice right-click damage. Meanwhile, that Invis transition is going to be coming towards bottom, where Windrunner and Loda are down on bottom.
Okay, this is what I mean about Nature's Prophet being deceptively good in a 1v1 against ranged heroes. Look what he's doing with the trees. Like, Puck doesn't have the damage to deal with the freaking treants, and they are just chewing away at him really badly. He's already lost like a fifth, like, look at that. He's already lost a half his health right now. Most of that was from the friggin' trees. Absolutely slamming him. So, I mean, there is that. So Puck is going to have a rough time here, but what do you make of the rotation here where they've sent Loda and EGM to the bottom lane? This is rough. I mean, a dual lane up against a tri-lane with some serious kill. Like, they've got some decent kill potential there with Lina as well as Shadow Demon, and then Anti-Mage, of course, can add his own damage in there with the mana burn and the blink. That worries me a lot. I just don't know if they're going to get the farm they want there, although that said, Anti-Mage doesn't want to blink into a Rocket Barrage. There is that, I suppose, their sleeve.
So,
but I mean, even with just Lina and Shadow Demon, that's a lot of damage and a lot of danger for them. Especially, I mean, as soon as they lose this ward here, they're really going to have to hang back.
Yeah, I can definitely see what you're saying there, But I honestly think that their main objective here is all it is just shut down, just delay Black's farm a little bit. If he doesn't freely farm away his anti-mage, the OD will make up for lost ground. OD is such a good hero against anti-mage in so many different ways. He, of course, has the ability to use through Arcane Orb to bring down the Mantle Illusions very, very quickly. On top of that, he has pure damage, which is not nullified by Spell Shield. So, in general, if OD is winning the mid lane, and they're doing something to hinder Black's farm down on bottom, I actually think that Alliance's strategy is going to be better for them long term. But it all comes down to how the individual skirmishes play out, and right now, of course, Shadow Demon plus Lina is a very scary thing to deal with. Going up and trying to go for some high ground right clicks, there is the uphill mischance to worry about, but double damage, making it worth it, and Synderen will take a little bit of damage, but it's Windrunner to pop off the salve.
On the mid. Look on the mid. We've got a smoke gank with dual centaurs coming in. Oh, that is really going to sting, and that's going to be very easy to set up too. All they're going to do is throw down an imprisonment, and then suddenly he's in so much trouble. As it looks like he's going to even sneak past the bear as well. Oh no, actually, smoke gets revealed, and unfortunately the gig is up now. Although he's not paying attention, actually. He's not paying attention at all. There's the imprisonment. He was watching his bear, who was doing the shopping for him. There's the first stomp. Second stomp comes up, and there's a first blood. Oh, dear Koikava, you were not paying attention at all. You were too busy shopping.
Yeah, but, well, that's just cost them, unfortunately. Now Nature Brava transitioning down bottom. They should be able to go in for kind of a full 3 versus 3. There's the barrage coming in from Loda to try to bring down Synderen. Light Striker is up and at him, and they did not get hit by the power shot, so they can try to turn this around. Black is going to fall back safely under his tower, and in the end, they just maybe forcing out some consumables from Synderen, but that's about it. So, yeah, the big thing here is that Puck will be able to get some solo experience and solo CS up on top now that the Prophet's TP is on cooldown. But they may just okay, they're just going to send Loda up top and have Bulldog down here for a little while. Skirmish between Ake and Synderen kind of back and forth here. The Ursa Clap already going across, but they need the right clicks. There we go. They will actually pick up the kill on Synderen since he doesn't have as much mobility as he would prefer, and his armor is sitting at only 1, so not exactly the best situation to tank up all that right click.
Yeah, I like what they've done here. I think this rotation is very smart indeed. Moving him down, moving the Enchantress into the jungle does open up a few options for them, and they might even gank the mid again. Oh wow, this is not going to be good at all. Nature's Prophet also jumping in, and we can see an imprisonment there. Actually, no, he's just going to toss down the Sprout. That's all they need. Sprout power shot. That's all she wrote. That's another kill there. Lone Druid really not faring that well in mid at all. Of course. Not really a fair assessment there. Obviously, he's being ganked. Yeah. Not really the 1v1 thing there. But yeah, I mean, you gank mid, you can crush whatever mid they throw up against you.
Yeah, this is actually the one time that I've seen Admiral Bulldog get completely stomped on playing Lone Druid. He was forced into a position based on the draft to run the Druid in the mid, and I forget exactly what team he was playing against. It would be ironic if it was Mouth, but I don't think it was. Either way, what they did was they just wouldn't let him go. They just continuously, over and over, ganked that lane and just made it a living nightmare for the Lone Druid. And that's exactly what's happening this time around to Koikwa and his Lone Druid. Now he has no way to summon the bear. He, of course, doesn't have the cooldown up for 45 seconds, but even when it comes up, S4 will not let him have mana. And you don't want to wait around for a prison to expire.
Top lane
now. It looks like Puck is already exhausted his jaunt, so he's going to try to go for a Dream Coil underneath the tower, but Phase Shift will not be enough to save him. Disruption going to continue to delay. Nice movement by Synderen. Going to get the pick off here to finish off the Enchantress, but of course the Puck does fall. Now Windrunner, 2 seconds left. Won't get the Windrun in time, unfortunately. And it is going to be a double kill for the Windrunner, and then Lina, very, very prevalent in both those kills as well.
I think it was a decent payoff there for Alliance. Sure, they lost the Windrunner. Sure, they lost the Enchantress, but the Puck, much, much higher value hero. Keeping him behind is much more valuable. They really want to slow down that Bleak Dagger as much as possible, because once he gets that, that's when things get a little bit hairy for OD, because they can try and target fire him a lot more easily, or at least just basically catch him out of position and lock him down so they can finish him off. Because, I mean, he's not that tanky, and if you hit him with his Waning Rift and then you allow Lina to get close just so she can just slam him with nukes, he's not going to stand up very long against that.
Now, one thing that should be emphasized is the importance of getting tree cutting materials for most members of Mouse Sports. Starting off, we do see a Quelling Blade up on Anti-Mage, that's great, but right now the Spirit Bearer and / Lone Druid doesn't have anything. It's very simple to commit an item slot to either one of those to get Tangos or Quelling Blade available and be able to break out of rough spots when the Prophet goes for the Sprouts. because really the only heroes other than Anti-Mage who can avoid it is Fata with his Orb Jaunt. So it's pretty important to make sure that that simply counterable maneuver is just that, countered, and not enabling it to be like a gigantic positional control mechanism.
And so Aki as well as EGM are going to rotate once again into the jungle. They're looking for... In fact, they're going to find the... Koikava, Shackle, and Shan as well. And they're even going to throw in some nukes there as well from the creep. And that is just really just not his day.
You don't take Bulldog's bear. You just don't do it.
Oh, you really don't. You really don't. I mean, it's not even Bulldog punishing him for it this time. It's just everybody's just really just wailing on him. Just do not let that bear get farmed, and it's going to be a really rough day. And Outward the Barrow almost has a mech up too. Puck has said, this is ridiculous. I'm rotating to mid now, and he's already lost 2 sets of imprisonments worth of intelligence now.
And that's max, so he's just got no potential to actually go in up against the OD on the lane until he's not safely under his tower.
In fact, look, Dire have even thrown down an enemy offensive ward there to watch for the bear. In fact, Koikava about to get spotted again.
Are you kidding? Oh my gosh, that sucks so much. I feel bad for this guy.
Look at Aki immediately sees him, says, "Ooh, we can go get him." No, decides not to go for him. He might even just wait for the bear to come up again, then go and get him as soon as the bear comes up. But yeah, they've got to wait for someone else to show up as well. I mean, he'll need Windrunner to help him finish him off. Windrunner has actually rotated top, and could actually be looking for a kill here on Lena if she's not careful and angles with the trees.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's potential up on the top. We're going to see Fata go and get the Dream Coil off on Windrunner. He's going to go for the TP, but the Disruption is there to counter that out. And so Windrunner should drop down, but there will be an opportunity for Low to do a lot of damage here. Slowing down Pause, the right clicks, the Barrage is going across, and will be enough to finish him off. No neutral kill for you. Back of the line, now we do see a nice Light Trick Array, but it's not going to be enough to get Cinderin out of this mess. As for In Pursuit, doesn't have Orb, but just a few right clicks will be enough to finish it with that Wrath of Nature connecting as well. So they get that kill. And last one is Fata, but he does have Invis, so not in real jeopardy. But going across, Ake is not done with Koikava yet, sitting on 330 HP. He's about to walk right into it. Oh goodness!
Oh,
at least the Hellbear's gone, but they're gonna pincer him in. OD is gonna walk right on up to him and try to force him back. They know where he is, and they know where he lives, and they're gonna try to do whatever they can to force him right back on out of it. This is not good at all.
Well, he's actually going to get away this time, right? Oh, actually, maybe. Oh, actually, no, he's just going to try and steal this creep there. Not going to happen, though. The Bear's going to get... And Koikava is actually going to chase off Aki. You can expect to be back, though, fairly shortly once he gets some fresh creep. That Centaur is about to expire fairly shortly. Meanwhile, just talking about farm, though, that said, while all this has been said and done, we've got to keep in mind Black has been free farming as well. So he's on 61 and 13. He's leading the CS board. That said, S4, I think, is possibly ahead in GPM at the moment. Gold per minute, there we go. Yes, he is ahead, and it's coming down to the fact that they're getting all that extra experience and gold just from the assists in the mid lane.
Yeah, they actually use a Mana Void to actually make sure that Windrunner will drop down. Goes for the... this is the second time EGM has tried for that last second TP. It forces another cooldown, but it's not actually keeping him alive. So that totals up to 270 gold that is spent on TP scrolls that had no chance of actually being successful, unfortunately. So Windrunner not having the best of games, but the fact that they're just bringing so much punishment to their opponents makes up for it, generally speaking. Anyways, OD is going to make a transition to Treads very, very shortly. Has the Belt of Strength and just has to disassemble the Tranquils with a Glove of Haste, and he'll be in a good spot there. As far as map control goes, so you kind of look at the, of course you're talking about that Dire ward near the Easy Camp, making sure that it didn't kill the Easy Camp, but just scouts it out so that they know exactly where Koikava's farming and can punish him for it. Along with that though, we do actually see a Radiant ward coming out. Great position for Mousesports to kind of keep coverage up on the top lane, and that's been allowing them to choose the more appropriate engagements up in that area there.
It looks like they are moving, well, they're just going to get that farm up. The question is whether or not they'll actually try and punish him for it at the moment. It looks like they're more interested in the top lane. We see the cooldown go up on the top lane. Cinderin taking a lot of damage. Centaur's doing tons of damage, and there's a Black Cannon as well. Will get finished off. Nature's Wrath comes through. Bulldog going to take that kill. Meanwhile, the EGM is just busy stacking Just going to keep farming over there. Fort's coming up top, though. Going to try and fend off the top tower there. Silence goes down to Aki. Might change his mind, though. Decides to actually back up, and we've got the enchant on top of him now. Fato's in some serious trouble. We've also got the rocket coming. The homing missile's going to come through, land the stun. And here comes Bulldog. Actually phase shifts, though. Sprout, though, to try and slow him down, but he's got Ethereal Jaunt up now. He can get away if he needs to. He's actually going to hold his ground. Throws down the Dream Call. Ethereal Jaunt as well, away, and that's exactly what they need. Light Strike Array coming through. Already got Laguna Bay, but Lena in her silly hat. Cinderin is down. They lose the tower, and that was not worthwhile at all.
Not at all. Oh, very, very unfortunate. As for the timing of that mechanism was insane. The Laguna Blade and Dragon Slave, in between those two spells, Loda got healed back up so that they would not be fatal, and that was very, very clutch. It looks like the Mouz will be able to at least get the tower. Yes, they barely do. Get the right click to bring down the Tier 1 tower bottom, but yeah, that was not worth it, unfortunately. So, one interesting aspect of that was how in over his head Fata was. He would have really preferred to use those max rank orbs offensively and getting damage out of them, but especially in the first case, he knew that he had to orb south because otherwise he would just get shut down immediately. So couldn't use them for the nuke aspect, and that's allowed it so that Alliance, when they were knocking on the door of the tier 2, were sitting at full HP and willing to dive. So jumping on in, they get a lot of kill presence, and they have just been knocking on their door ever since.
I should mention the Gyrocopter. He's got his drums. It looks like he doesn't have that much cash at the moment, unless there's something on the courier that I haven't seen. No, he doesn't have that much cash just yet. In fact, Gyrocopter only sitting on 53 GPM. I mean, not terrible, but not insane. Of course, we've got to keep in mind that Black is almost at 400. In fact, OD is over 400 at the moment still. Meanwhile, though, Puck Fatter playing riskily. Obviously, he's got the escape mech, and there's not that much lockdown on the dice side, so he doesn't need to worry too much. But still, skulking about in enemy territory. He's going to come into mid. Looks like he's angling for a Dream Call here. Could get one potentially on Loda if Loda's not careful. Loda throwing down the homing missile. It's going to fly up. Probably going to get destroyed, though, by looks of things. Yeah, just get picked off. It was going after, I think, after the Lone Druid. Are they thinking about doing... I think they're actually thinking about doing... Okay, yeah, they're going to do Roshan. And, of course, Bulldog did actually pick up the medallion, so that's going to pretty much open it up for them. Just because it can even all that extra damage with the negative armor effect. And right now, Lone Druid has been allowed to get a little bit of farm. He's opted to go into phase boots for the bear and has picked up that Orb of Venom as well. I think he's had the Orb of Venom for a little while, but he's opted to finish up the phase boots, and now they're going to scout that out. They know what's going on, but I don't think they can really do anything about it. Going to send the bear. Another homing missile getting sent out, though, is targeting Fat. I don't think that's the best use just because he can phase shift. It was not great, but a good shackle. Look at that shackle there on Cinder. Cooldown coming just misses. That's a whiff. A good attempt, though, and Cinder will manage to skulk away there. But they do manage to pick up Roshan in the meantime, though. And who did that go to?
S4 actually picked the Aegis Immortal in this situation because he is their highest net worth hero by a significant margin. He is sitting at 6,400 net worth and really dwarfing what we were looking at the Lone Druid. Yeah, he's got his phase boots up, but beyond that, he's not doing too hot. He's still sitting at just under 2,900 as far as his total net worth value. And yeah, comparing that to 3 core heroes, Admiral Bulldog doing really, really well, and going over top of Loda, who surprisingly is down in 4th place as far as net worth, but still pretty happy about his current position. As they push in for the tier 2 on mid here, they do have plenty of push potential with these Hellbears tanking it up, and they do have heals and such available as well. Now this is effectively a 6 versus 5 when you consider the ODs Aegis the Immortal, and the fact that there is no buyback available for the Radiant, so they can't just buy back TP back into this engagement, and yeah, I don't think they're going just yet, buddy. Anyways, Gyrocopter is disconnected on out. Loda will be coming back in just a moment, but yeah, this does not look like a great engagement for Mouse Sports. I mean, the Pug does have good teamfight potential, but I don't think really anybody else backs that up. I mean, right now the Laguna Blade is nice, but 450 damage, mitigated pretty hard by the 25%. You counteract that with a 250 HP heal from the mechanism, and you're only getting so much. So, in this position here, unless Mouse Sports focuses perfectly, Alliance are pretty much just going to be handed this tier 2.
Yeah, that and Black is not really in a position to fight. I mean, he's got his Battle Fury, 14 and a half minutes. That's decent. That's actually pretty good. The Battle Fury being picked up this early on, but the problem is, like, he doesn't really want to dive in because he's going to get shut down pretty hard. Like, someone's going to hit him with Enchant, or he's going to get hit in the face by Stun or Imprison. He's just going to get shut down and blown apart really quickly. So there is that. So I think he's just going to sit down and keep on farming. That said, I think they can afford to do that. It's better off, I think, they lose this tier 2. I think it's honestly better off that they just sack this tier 2 than commit to a fight that they can't win and just get tons and tons of deaths there. Maybe if they can blast someone down really quick, maybe if they can just... I mean, Aki only has 600 health. If they can isolate him and destroy him quickly, then maybe they've got a chance. But the problem is, even if they try and isolate and destroy him, the problem is as soon as they try to isolate him, they're just going to get in prison for the save. Defensive prison. So there is that. And just worry me a little bit. And I mean, on the flip side, Bulldog, as of just yet, doesn't have that much to offer. I mean, he's pretty much an auto attack, and that's about it. He does, of course, have the medallion, but really, most of his damage is being stored inside his ult, which is on cooldown, so he doesn't really have anything up. So the loader ult on cooldown, not for long, though. It will be up in 5 seconds. So if they want to push in and try and fight, they have 2 really nasty AoEs they can do it with.
So we're going to see things right now, just some flat cannon, right clicks. Actually, Loda using his flat cannon right there might have been a bit of a mistake. It shows that they aren't willing to go for a full fight. Like, you would obviously save your flat cannon for the 5v5 if you expected 5v5 to be happening in only a few seconds. So by popping that off, getting a little bit of harassment, and then immediately falling back here. Although they might have been able to take the tier 2, it could have been with heavy losses, and right now they have such a great lead. So instead, oh, Fata's Dream Coil. Not going to connect, and EGM just kind of going to stare at the shiny purple circle before holding the line with maybe some power shot counter push.
If I were to taunt, I bet EGM would have walked over the top of the coil point and just hit the taunt button. Why the hell not? It looks like they are going to lose the tier 1 mid tower, though. Oh, actually, no, maybe not. S4's here. Actually, no, yeah, they're not going to lose that. S4's here. They're running for their lives. Here we go, Sandy's Eclipse. We get to see a big Sandy. It's thrown down. Does a lot of damage to Synderen as well as Puck. Puck having to back up. Synderen is down once again, and the Bear are going to give them another 300 gold. That one going to EGM. Oh boy, you bet he's happy about that. And, oh no, Koikaba, he's in bear mode, and they should be able to, I mean, Bulldog can run him down here. He's so much faster. He's going to summon another bear, and there we go. He's going to catch him inside that. Do we have some backup on the way? And Chantress is not quite close enough. He will manage to teleport out.
Yeah.
I was about to say, it's almost one of those days. He keeps stepping in the dog poop and just cannot stop. Everywhere he goes, there's dog poop everywhere.
Unfortunately. Luckily, though, despite some attempts for some awesome body blocks from Bulldog, they did just pop off the TP scroll and was able to escape on out of there. Meanwhile, acting as a very elaborate distraction up against the fact that Anti-Mage was pushing down on bottom on that tier 2, putting some damage into that, as well as picking up a number of creep waves and farms. So, topping out CS, he is 140 to Loda's 81. And that is going to move him in towards his Manta style at a relatively good timing. Unfortunately, it's just not on par with what the rest of his team is looking at now that Puck is so far away from Blink and everybody else is just scrambling to get a core item.
I mean, if they hold on to this rate, Alliance really hasn't pushed that hard just yet. I think they stand a decent chance if they can keep up at this rate. Anti-Mage is getting fairly well farmed. The bigger deal is going to be whether or not they can... Oh, wow. Look at Bulldog actually getting blown apart here and actually finished off. Free kill there, unfortunately. Anti-Mage far too strong for him to deal with. But go to the late game. Loda really has not farmed all that well. Like, he's not doing... Oh, actually, no, I'd take the base. On 420, I suppose. Most of his money is actually not spent up. There we go. That's where his money is. 1,900 gold there. But that said, if they can get the Bear with a Basher on top of OD, most of the threat is going to be an OD. If they can get the Bear with a Basher on top of OD and stop him from attacking and shut him down, then, you know, Anti-Mage could blow him apart very quickly. Because Alliance do not have a lot of good shutdown. They can't really stop him that quickly. I mean, they've got a Shackle, but you've got to line it up. And maybe if some people get some Hexes, they might be able to stop him. But that said, until then, I think they do have a weakness there, the fact that he can try and prioritise Outward Devour if you can lock him down and keep him still. Especially if he gets locked down as well by the Dream Coil, silences, that sort of business as well.
Sure. Yeah, I could definitely see that coming into play, but... I mean, you get... Right now in this state, OD, of course, has his Aegis along with the mechanism, so he's not too afraid, at least for the next couple minutes, of any of that. Like, the lockdown will come, but he has a lot of backup, to say the least. I mean, with the fact that Gyrocopter is such a great hero for turning fights around, with the call on Flatkin, and then the fact that Bulldog can always assist with that Wrath of Nature now at rank 2, they're just in such a great position now. On mid lane, Laguna Blade and Dragon Slave will clean up on the Windrunner, but cost Cinder in his life, he's just happy to get something, but they might get another bear. 300 gold will be going the way of Outward Devour, and they're going to go in for the push on mid, going for deny first and foremost. Okay, going to take that one down while they go in for the tier 2.
Unfortunately, in the end, that was not worth it. Divvying away the... I mean, losing Lena for Windrunner, not terrible. Lena getting experience out of it, but losing the bear is a bit of a problem. They keep... I feel like they're giving away too many bears here. Those bears are worth a lot of money, fortunately. Pazzo skulking here, just going to spray out those poison... shadow poisons. Meanwhile, though, Anti-Mage continuing to farm away, has picked up that Yasha and well on his way to a Mana Style. In fact, only about 1,000 gold away from finishing it off. Meanwhile, though, tier 2 tower gets dropped down in mid... And they will just try and pick up Enchantress' creep for extra gold as well.
So BKB is only 250 gold away for Loda. He's going to be able to go in, and no matter what the heroes like Lina throw at him, Puck throw at him, he's going to be able to shrug it off and just keep on right-clicking. So that's going to be a very dangerous thing to see. Along with that, with all this gold flowing, the bears and the towers, this OD is almost to his Scythe of Ice. This is going to be like a 21-minute sheepstick, and that's insane.
Oh dear. Yeah, that is really going to put a dent in Anti-Mage's plans. Unless, I mean, they just don't have the lockdown there to shut him down. Oh, no, pass, free kill. I don't know if the cooldown was really necessary, to be honest.
Why not, though?
Anyway, pick him off, whatever. Excuse me. But yeah, he's down for a good 30 seconds. But free kill there, I mean, why not? Cooldown's not that long a cooldown anyway, so not a big deal there. I'll be back up another 30 seconds. So, Windrunner is actually going to throw out the shackle there. Bulldog shows up, blinks away just in time for Black. He's going to look for a TP out there. It looks like he will actually... Oh, no. Yeah, he'll just jump away and then TP out. And will we see him?
Oh, so close.
Wow, that was on target.
Was.
Just a little bit too slow. Good attempt regardless, though. Meanwhile, S4 rolling around in the enemy jungle. And yeah, he should have, in fact, should have that out very short. In fact, I think it's doing the shopping for it now. Yeah, there we go. It's done. It's being sent out fairly soon.
Would be so nice for Mouse to be able to snipe that up. They do have vision with the Observer Word, but Snull will be able to get in to the right position without any molestation, so that's going to be fine for him. Anti-Mage does finish up his second core item, going in for this Manta style here. He's going to be in a better position to stay aggressive and stay active, but when you compare that to a Scythe of Ice now on the OD, and then the other supports that are going to be building it up next, I presume the Nature's Prophet will be putting that on his shopping list as well. It's going to be a very, very dangerous position for him to be in, because right now you're not really thinking about hexing the bear, hexing the legendary. Like, he's going to have a Maelstrom and Orb of Venom. He's not a threat. And as a result, all they have to do is every single fight sheep the right anti-mage, and suddenly there's very, very little that Mouseport can do.
Bulldog needs to be careful. You know, he's got a Shadow Blade now as well, so he should be just fine. And it looks like they're going to trade Tier 2 bottom for potentially Tier 2 Mesh. No, Port's going out. OD is going mid. He's going to put an end to that. Chases off Anti-Mage, and they do manage to pick off the Tier 2 bottom tower for the Radiant side. It's nicely done there. I should mention that Puck was in the jungle, the Radiant jungle, scouted everything out with invisibility runes. They decided, you know what, let's go push mid. Also should mention he has a Blink Dagger now, so he can try and set up these fights. How effective it will be, well, God knows, considering the BKB is out in the Gyrocopter, and OD can always, if he's in... Oh, well, I suppose not if he gets caught out by the Waning Rift, but he can try and imprison himself to buy some time. Meanwhile, though, the bear is potentially about to get picked off again, as it looks like the... Oh, sheep on fatter, blown to pick... Wow.
Really?
Okay, I think that was a little unnecessary, but anyway, whatever. And the bear again. What? Really? How did the bear get picked off? Surely he would have just recalled it to him.
He left it. Like, really, it was just a misplay. I don't know.
Okay. That's another 300 gold for OD.
Yeah, indeed. OD dropping the standees. I think there was just a sliver of concern that from S4 that there's the Puck could phase shift it and try to avoid it in some way, shape, or form. I don't think that was actually possible from a bird's eye view, but in the moment, I can understand him just wanting the little bugger dead. So, going ahead, dropping the Sandy's Eclipse. Unfortunately, it is a pretty big cooldown and won't have it up for a couple minutes here. Luckily, that is going to be just in time for the Roshan engagement, which will be coming up in just a minute and a half. He, of course, is respawning in just a minute or so. Anyways, in this state of mind, they just resummon the bear, they're on the defensive. Really, it's only Black that can venture out, and that's exactly what he's doing, just farm away, stacking up 250 CS, but all the creep kills in the world, I'm not sure if it's going to put him in a position to take this game away. Gonna try, though. Going in, he is going to find out S4 right here, and walk the other direction.
Yeah. I mean, you can't really argue with S4's results right now. He is 7-0-1. He's doing extremely well there. Should mention, though, got Anti-Mage ahead on the GPM, 560. S4 just under the 500 mark, but still Anti-Mage farming a little bit stronger despite the extra tower kills there for OD. And just comes down to the fact that he has more than double the CS of anybody else on the board, except for Gyro. Gyro's just a little bit over, or under double rather. And it's just coming out of the back. He's blinking around, and Clear just lets him blow through creeps so easily. Looks like they are going to go for another Roshan, though, and they know it's going to be up very soon. There we go. Bulldog arriving just as it pops up, even. Again, another Medallion in there, and they will blow this down pretty easily. And I honestly don't think there's going to be any contesting from the Radiant side. They know they're in there, too. They've got the ward up. They saw it and everything. But it's like, you know, we're not going to win that fight. Let's not do this.
Yeah. The real question for Mouse is what do you initiate with? Who do you go in with first? You have the Lone Druid, who only just now hit level 11. He doesn't actually even have his second point in Elder Bear form, or the Druid form, so I'm not... No, it was... I'm trying to remember now. For some reason, drawing a blank. It's been a long day of Dota, to be honest. But... Wow. True form. That's what it's called, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, he... Even at... About to get his second point in True form. For right now... He isn't that tanky. 1500 HP, getting 11 armor. It's not bad, but he's by far and large the tankiest, and everybody else is just nowhere near that. So going in, the Shadow Demon, the Lina, they get 2-shot. The Puck has to be very precise in his timing of abilities, and I don't know. It's just like they don't have anybody to walk on in there unless they want to feed away more bears, which kind of seems to be their plan so far. But I don't know.
Well, I think the other thing is, despite all of his health, though, even if he had 2,000 health, the fact is he only has 28 intelligence. If he gets hit by a Sandy's Eclipse, he's looking at 128, roughly. Actually, more, I think.
Wow.
Devourer just picked up. Yeah, so like 128 intelligence. He's looking at roughly 100 intelligence multiplied by, the damage differential there.
Yeah, so that's going to be a lot of damage output.
Actually, no, I think it caps out at...
Black in a bad spot, gets scythed immediately. Oh my gosh, they had the perfect perspective of this. They get the scythe off, they get the shackle, and Nature's Prophet is the one to secure the kill. But, yeah, he just was barely in vision of the creeps that he had just destroyed and immediately started making the movement, and they were so ready for that. Smoke up right around the trees. He couldn't have been in a worse position, and although he has buyback, spending it now means that he's going to be so far behind when it comes down to the net worth, and of course he is very ahead, but compare that to what he's up against, it's not looking good. Fortification popped off in the tier 3. Here comes that big engagement. Could be the end-all be-all if Alliance do take this one away here. Anyways, quick disruption coming out, Loto cleaning it up with some call down flat cannon strikes, but actually gets entangled, and with that Soul Catcher, gets dropped down very, very quickly. Very, very quickly indeed.
It's got to be careful. The Koikovet's got to be careful with the bear. He does have a spare one, but yeah, if Mousebots are going to make a play, now is the time. It looks at, wow, they're actually foraging the bear. They do not like that bear. Bear goes down. Bring out another one, though. He's got a spare one, Laguna Blade. That's a lot of damage there on the OD. OD going to come up in a second. The buyback's here for Anti-Mage and Puck. S4, can he go down? It will get him down eventually, but Sandy's Eclipse drops, and Koikova pretty much gets one hit by that. He's down from 1600 to 150. The counterattack is on. The Aki goes down as well. They're taking down 4. Can they make it a 5th? A TP out, though. I think it looks like EGM will escape. But, as we said, if they're going to make a play, it's got to be now, and they hold the line. It does cost them 2 buybacks, though.
They don't just hold the line. They just completely destroyed a team that had so much more potential. I can't wait to see this experience go the other way. I mean, the level advantage, the item advantage, everything pointed to Alliance just destroying this, but without the Aegis, with the focus that Mousesports put in, that amazing Blink Coil Waning Rift coming in from Puck, they don't just hold it. They take that fight away. Oh, so darn well. That was very, very impressively done. And the focus was really there. OD, yes, he got his mech off, but in the effect of getting stunned out, getting hit by Puck and his silence, then immediately after getting stunned out by the Lina, and then having to prison himself just to stay alive, he was disabled for the first 8 seconds of that fight. And as a result, when he dropped the Sandy's Eclipse, yes, he did drop, I believe it was Koikwa, down to 1 hittable, but he didn't get that 1 hit in. He was already dead. And that was just such a really, really good movement from Mousesports, and couldn't have been more than of what they needed.
That said, of course, it did cost him a buyback on both Anti-Mage. That's it. He's probably the hero most of all, and Puck. Puck was the one that couldn't really afford it all that badly, really wanted that money to go towards a Hex or something. And Anti-Mage, more so, not so much of an issue for him, but I think the bigger problem is for them is that OD is very close to a BKB. He just needs the recipe now. He's got the money there for the Mithril Hammer. He just needs to bump the recipe, which he can do fairly easily. And once he gets that BKB, he's going to be so much harder to deal with. Although, that being said, once again, they have a BKB for Anti-Mage. So, I mean, that might be what they need to wail on. If he can jump in on top of S4, pop the Manta, pop the BKB, and then just start slamming him, that might be what they need to keep things equalized.
Yeah.
Because they don't really have the sort of, well, I suppose aside from Black Cannon is a good source. And yeah, that said, Jarrah has actually picked up a Demon Edge, so he's hitting fairly hard right now.
This
Evolutions may not last as long as you want.
Mousesport's plan is all about the Anti-Mage right now. They have a Vladimir's up for him from the Lone Druid. He has a BKB, so he can survive on through and avoid those 2 hexes. And I mean, in general, they've been priming for this all game long. Even you look at Black's skill build, the fact that he only has 1 point in Spell Shield now, part of that has to do with effective HP mechanics. Another part is the fact that he knew at some point he would just be nullifying all the magic damage altogether and wanted to go for stats, for mobility, for farming, for general survivability against a very physical to pure damage-oriented team. Either way, right now, Anti-Mage is finally in a confident position to jump into an engagement. If he blinks in, Mantas and BKBs, and has the Vladimir's offering nearby, there is a good chance that he can actually go toe-to-toe with the best of them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's probably his biggest fear. His biggest fear is, if they get the jump on him. But they don't really have that problem. Unless, actually something I would like to see, to be dead honest. After the BKB, get a blink. Sell the Null Talisman, get a blink on the OD. We've seen it before. Blink OD is so damn good. You can open up, basically jump in Hex, and then Sanity just drops. It just drops and gets off the really good one, and you slam who you want to. It is really, really painful. And then if they try and turn around and target fire, you either BKB up or you imprison yourself and your teammates sweep in to clean up the mess. And you see there the damage. If he can get the Hex off on Black, Black is going to drop like a rock. Yeah. Just with a few auto attacks, Black is already well below half. Now the Hex goes, oh no, Hex rather. Oh, wow, look at that damage. Oh, poor Pass gets blown apart there. Looks like the coil goes down. Now they don't even care. They just snap it. Who gives a crap about that coil? And looks like they are going to try and get away. Syndra, though, will escape. And the only person lost is Shadow Demon there. Oh, actually, no, Bulldog went down in the middle of that fight too. But you know what? Bulldog, who cares? He'll be back. Well,
they got a lot of damage. They got the Laguna Blade, and the illusions were enough to finish off the tree, the Furion. So, yeah, I mean, that worked out for them not too bad. I mean, if they're pushing out of their base at all, they're in a pretty happy position. And now the Shadow Demon is going to be back up and kicking. Furion does not have buyback, so he will be able to TP in, but not for 30 full seconds, and that will delay a little bit extra time for Mousesports to hold the line against the Lions.
Yeah, I mean, it just is a matter of time. They really need to buy time. The Bear has also picked up, Lone Druid has actually picked up a Vladimir's offering as well, which is really going to help out the Anti-Mage quite a bit. I think it's less for him / pushing and more just for, let's give Anti-Mage lifesteal. Oh, no, Fata gets caught out. Oh, I mean, to be fair, there's no way he could have seen that coming. It's nighttime, doesn't have great vision, and we had these heroes skulking in the trees ready to jump him.
Yeah, I mean, but
they saw him coming up the lane too. They have a ward.
Sure. He saw them pushing about in this position here in the creep wave clash. They did push down that wave, so losing him here, it cost them deeply. Like, he's not going to be able to come back for this fight. They're going to lose the tier 3 guaranteed. They will be able to... Oh, well, I guess they aren't so confident about the 5v4, which is, I guess, because the Scythe of Ice were mostly on cooldown from that Puck pickoff. Either way, coming on in, 15 seconds left before Puck respawns. They just need a little bit more damage to finish off this tier 3 tower and kind of level out the playing field when it comes to sieging this high ground.
Yeah, right now they're just having trouble getting creep wave up there. It's a bit of an issue for them. Looks like they're just going to pop back to mid. In fact, looks like they're going to abandon this push for the most part. I'm just going to allow them. I think they might actually just wait for the Roshan, because the thing is, I don't really see Mousesports, like we said before, there are chances to contest the Roshan piss poor. And then if they get the Aegis, and this time, put it on I really feel like it was a mistake putting on Gyrocopter. Their damage is in OD. It should have been on OD. I think he could have just dumped the Null Talisman if he really needed to. It really should have been on him. So they picked that up this time around, and then I think that's where Mousesports, it's going to become even harder. They've got to basically work some serious magic to keep themselves in the mix. Well, that said, speaking of serious magic, if anything can turn a game around, it's a good smoke gank, and this might be what they need. If they can open up a kill here on OD, he doesn't have buyback.
Black getting sheeped up again up on top here. Going to get some good right clicks to come on in, but he's going to turn around with the BKB. There comes the Dream Coil onto 2. Loda going to do whatever damage he can. But Ake is going to be the focus here. Just has to pop off the ultimate to finish him off here. Black sitting on a third of his HP. Blinks on out of the Sandy's Eclipse. It does take down Puck, but they bring down the Gyrocopter with that Laguna Blade. Now 2 for 2. Gyro down, Puck down as well. We're going to see a Shackle connecting onto Paz, and he will be the third casualty. TP, unfortunately, using that Shackle meant they could not get the interruption on the TP of Quoiqua. So he does get out unscathed, and Black will continue to farm another day. But the question is whether or not they are hindering Alliance enough that Black can farm what he needs to. Right there, the BKB was popped off for the first time from OD, dropping it down to 9 seconds. The big thing here for a Anti-Mage versus an Outworld Devourer is how much time he can spend right-clicking him when the OD doesn't have his BKB up. Because, of course, feedback, or more commonly known as mana burn, it does not pierce through magical immunity. But if he can get an Abyssal Blade, get that physical stun off either before the BKB or to wait out the BKB, Black can do some serious, serious damage to the OD.
Oh, yeah. I don't think it hindered him enough, though, because, I mean, to be honest, I feel like Alliance were in sort of a holding pattern anyway. They were in standby mode just waiting for Roshan, who is back up now. And now, 5 seconds to Jericho, but I think they'll just go and take that. That's what I see them doing in the next few seconds. And, yeah, I mean, this is I think this is Roshan number 3, isn't it? This should have cheese as well, so, I mean, they can hand the cheese out to somebody else, and Jericho to grab the cheese. Definitely give Debarra the freaking Aegis. He needs... I don't know why. In that last engagement, he didn't have the Aegis. It was just silly. But anyway... Anti-Mage does have the Basher up, so I mean, at the rate he's farming, he's edging closer and closer to that Abyssal Blade, but at the same time, buyback is up, like, the timer is up, so he should also want to be saving for buyback as well at this point in time, because it was crucial as well for them holding the line last time and having the multiple buybacks.
He's gonna take it. Gyro? Who's got the cheese? Nature Prophet. They seem to be disappointing
you. I really don't agree with that.
I mean, one big thing about S4's teamfight is popping up the Scythe, the Mech, and the Sans Eclipse. That's a very substantial portion of what S4 brings, and you can almost guarantee that no matter how the fight plays itself out, because you can BKB, have silences and such. I think S4 feels confident that he'll get those 3 aspects of the fight off. The question is those subsequent right-clicks and whether or not the OD is actually going to be able to get any of those out, because that Arcane Orb does a hell of a lot of damage, especially with his considerable amount of farm. But for right now, my opinion is this. If Loda can get a second volley of 6 flank cannon shots off as a result of the Aegis the Immortal, it is better to have it on him. Otherwise, the OD can benefit from it even more so.
Well, here's my thought. Like right now, factoring your armor resistances, Loda is only doing about 110, 120 damage to Anti-Mage, whereas S4 is doing over 200. So, yeah, I really feel like it should be like oh, actually, there we go. They've moved the cheese to S4, so I think that's gonna sort out what they need. Well, just he needs one of those 2 things. That'll do.
One thing is, of course, the Arcane Orb doesn't apply to a BKB target, so Black having that available for most of the fight does hinder a lot of that damage output.
That's actually a really good point. I hadn't considered that. Now Puck just going to harass from a distance there with the orb. I don't think it's going to be enough though. I know they really want this top tower here. That's weak. They can go for it. Black, they're just counter pushing for the moment. Bulldog, of course, can shop wherever he needs to. He'll just jump in there with a teleport. And then we go Puck just nuking down this creep wave, just trying to slow him down a bit. And then we go OD just dropping some damage down the tower. It's getting very, very low. They should better bring that down. And now it's the Rax exposed. Can they get this? Glyph is up. Now, Mouse Sports, we really need Black to TP back there. They really, really need him in this fight, or they're going to lose this. We're probably going to lose this Rax. I mean, the bear can't. Oh, shit, that's it. The bear does have the Assault Cuirass, but I don't think it's going to. Oh, wow. No, that bear is not going to hold the line. No, look at that bear drop. Shackle doesn't lash, though. That bear is getting wrecked. Do they have a spell one? Yes, they do. That may be enough. And there we go. The port's coming out. Black is back. Can he hold the line, though? We'll find out in a second.
Well, certainly force them back.
In the bank. He's got buyback. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they essentially have a free Aegis now as well. Also, buyback on Puck as well. On the bear, the buyback less useful, obviously, because if he dies, the bear dies with him, and then without the bear, he's shitty.
Coming in, Shackle will not latch. That's actually a really, really important cooldown, because if they don't have a Shackle on top of their size, that means that Black can kind of run rampant in the midst of them. And the timing is going to be very, very important. But for right now, Black, TP Scroll, 23-second cooldown. Debating whether or not he wants to go for that creep wave. Can't just Manta Illusion it. He has to defend up here. So they're going to go up top. Again, OD has that cheese, but there is also this Assault Cross on the bear, which, by the way, is getting shredded right now. A couple more right-clicks could even finish it off, but just going to send it back to heal. No, there comes Initiation Pod. They're going to jump on top. Load up BKBing, but a little bit too late. Look at Black's damage, just shredding through. 2 heroes, double kill. Looking for a third. Loda getting right-click down hard, but gets saved by S4 and his prison. Bulldog going to get dropped down. Black sheeped on up. There's the Sanities. There's the right-clicks, but that is going to be the Aegis Immortal coming back up with cheese timing. He pops it off. S4, can he survive through these bashes? Will he be able to bring out Black? He tries to blink, but he cannot get it up, and instead, he will buy back to try to jump back on into this. Meanwhile, the Rax getting hammered on. We do see the melee falling, and Alliance in retreat. Black not wanting to let them, but the prison, unfortunately, not gonna let him have any say in the matter. Still, he will keep blinking. There's that scythe to try to turn it around, but Entangle Late Strike Array, S4 locked down. He's going to die, and most of the Alliance with him. Black just cleaning house now, going in for one more blink if he can just get vision. But it looks like they haven't been able to counter the Lothars of Admiral Bulldog, the least of their concerns. And instead, yeah, it is going to be a full-fledged retreat from Nature's Prophet alone. The casualties of war, that is going to be a buyback cooldown from the Lina, the Nature's Prophet, and of course the Anti-Mage.
As they say in Black, we trust. Dear God, that was nasty stuff. I almost feel like they might want to be seeing we pick up some Ethereal Blades here. Oh, that's actually no, then again, with Lina there. You really don't want to be copying the level 3 Laguna Blade when you do that. So maybe not then. Maybe not. But that said, it looks like Nature's Prophet is going to charge around the enemy jungle to get some bit of farm done there. But needs to be careful though. I should mention the Puck actually picked up a Rod of Atos. That's not an item we see that often, but I mean against OD who doesn't really have against an OD who didn't bother with the 4 stuff, that actually really cripples him, and you can catch him out of position with that, especially if BKB's down. Yeah,
100% agree with you there. It's all about the fact that there isn't a 4-staff on the field for them. I mean, I saw somebody building it, but I think it was Mouse Sports. So, yeah, they don't have a single 4-staff to kite with. And so that Atos sets it up, so slamming and jamming will indeed occur. And they're in just such a great position now. Anti-Mage, being level 25, has a magic resistance of 62%, and then you wait until he walks in range of Lone Druid, and he just gets so much benefit from the auras here. Vladimir's plus AC. He's going to be jumping up to over 60% armor, and that is just so much to survive.
Getting a bit scary for Alliance. The Abyssal Blade is done. Black doesn't have to save for buyback because it's on cooldown for the moment, for the next 4 minutes in fact, so he's got plenty of time to refarm that cash. And now suddenly the Aegis is down for another 5-6 minutes, and they can probably try and make something happen if they wanted to. Although that's actually maybe not, because I mean if they lose Black, if they try and push and lose Black, then it's game over. They're going to lose another Rax for sure. So they might actually, I think they're going to avoid pushing, which unfortunately is probably going to give Alliance another shot at another Aegis and cheese. And that means Black has to save for buyback again.
Yep.
Ugh. This is problematic. That said, I mean, if this keeps up at this rate, I mean, they are gradually chipping away, and they're going to get one Rax after the other here.
Sheep comes out. This might be it. No defensive disruption. Pause saves the day. Coming in, they cannot stagger their scythes. Instead, Black spams the BKB, trying to turn it around. There's the Abyssal onto S4. He can't even prison himself. He just gets shredded. Now Lodo, the target of choice. Black. Oh, there's that Entangle proc, as well as a couple of Dream Coils, rooting them in place. Black is taking a lot of damage. He will fall, but the rest of Alliance in turn, they're going to be able to bring down Ake, forcing a buyback on the Gyrocopter. EGM, the only one left on the battlefield to run on out and blink on away. But, yeah, they lost Anti-Mage and turned it around on 3 other very, very important Alliance heroes.
I do like the fact... excuse me, my throat is starting to swell up there. I do like the fact that Gyrocopter has picked up a Monkey. Not only is it a ton of extra damage, but it's also a good preemptive choice against potential Butterfly there on Anti-Mage. They got a lot of Atos, so on EGM, he's trying to back off. They're so slow! Shackle goes down, doesn't really latch out, and the fair is going to be fed away there. 300 gold, but he does have a spare one though.
So much
just can they pick off anybody else here? I mean, they're lucky. I've got to say though, Alliance, Mousesport's rather damn lucky they managed to pick off. I almost would have said like they should have, like Anti-Mage, rather than charging forwards in that fight, he should have blinked back out, because I mean that could have forced a buyback from OD. But with Anti-Mage down, he doesn't need to buy back. He can sit on his cash. In fact, does he even have enough money? He does have enough money for a buyback. But instead, he kept pushing forwards and eventually got picked off by Bulldog, which is, I think, a questionable choice. Also, should mention, Bulldog does have a Monkey King bar of his own. He hits pretty hard himself at this point in time.
Yeah, that's kind of a looming factor for Anti-Mage's item progression. Going for a Butterfly is not going to be a very good choice for him, because although the stats are great, the evasion is countered out by 2 heroes already. The Gyrocopter with not only Flat Cannon, but the Monkey King bar, and then the Nature Prophet with his own. So getting that true strike up, very, very important to nullify that, and if they do connect with the Scythe of Vice, of course the Hex muting that as well. So in general, evasion is not what Anti-Mage needs right here, and the question is, in that case, what is? Of course, Heart of Trask, a great item to pick up on him. Is there anything else that you would suggest?
I think Heart's the way to go, without a doubt. He just needs that raw health now. I mean, he's got... if he gets a heart, he's up to 3k health, and more importantly, I mean, he can quite happily duck out of the fight, regenerate a bit, duck back in, and he's got the mobility to do that. Alternatively, I mean, if you're ever out of options, ever out of ideas of things to buy, you don't particularly want a heart, just another hex. You can never have too many hexes, just simple as that.
And then a blink dagger and a 4-staff, and I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, well, think about it. Like, he gets in, He gets in, like OD, I mean, he's getting down to 4 seconds fairly soon. Like, a couple more fights, he'll be down to 4 seconds. He drops the stun on top of OD with the Abyssal Blade through the BKB. He gets a bash somewhere in there, it's another second, and he's going to run out of BKB. And then he gets hexed. And just keep slamming him, just keep whack, 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 whack. He'll drop fairly quickly. And OD, I mean, he sees that he's taking a lot of physical damage. He's in fact buying up Shivas now.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's becoming a severe issue for them. But that said, I mean, his BKB is not that great anymore because you look at the amount of bashes on the field and superior magic stuns. The bear has a root. The bear also has a basher now.
Oh yeah.
That's a serious problem for him. Like even if he BKBs up, but the same for Loda. Even if they BKB up, there's a really good chance that they're not doing a damn thing. They're getting to get locked down in the middle of the fight. And that just worries me a lot.
Rough game. Back and forth. All these guys here looking for the Roche respawn. Going to be a very big factor for both teams here. Black, a little bit behind, but he will be able to quickly meet up with his teammates with this blink mobility. Either way, Roche respawning just a few seconds here, and we're going to see this clash come forward. Oh my goodness, I just cannot wait. This game right now, I mean, having a 7,500 experience advantage for Alliance and just knocking down towers left and right, and now, oh, such a rough position for them to be in, but neither team is out of it. Honestly, this is just a very, very interesting game. The clash is about to occur.
Yeah, it looks like, yeah, S4 now taking a lot of damage here. Mech pops out early. He's looking for a root. Doesn't proc it, though. The bear is about to get killed again. Now, there is a spare one, though. There's another 300 gold, though, being given out to the OD, I think. But regardless, I think Alliance in the long run, they have a slight advantage. It's the fact that they have 3 potential kills. In fact, more as well. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Black jumps in. Black, poor decision-making there. Holy crap, I do not know what he was thinking. Buys back immediately, though. Hex down on Koikova. Koikova now has some serious trouble. Gets spread up as well. Gets some line of sight up the hill. 4-star bout, though. There's that technical aspect there. Lena now going to cop a homie miss on the butt there. But now it looks like the bear still fighting. Astral imprisonment there. I think it's trying to keep Bulldog up and running. As well as Koikova, though, getting shredded. Down he goes. He doesn't have a spare bear anymore. If he comes back up, he's useless. But anti-mage is back. Black is back. Black is trying to chase it down. Here comes the stun. Yes, there we go. Trox a bash. Shackle down, though. Will S4 try and turn around? He's got Hex back up now as well. The illusions, though. Astral imprisonment. Will he go for this? But Batters here can try and silence him as well. There we go. S4 in some serious trouble. S4 is down. He should have buyback, though. Yes, he does have buyback back. But in the meantime, though, the creep are pushing into the racks. And in fact, actually, no racks is, well, one range rack's lost, but no, that lane was already screwed. The question is whether or not they can snipe out Roshan. If they can get Roshan here, that will be a big win. Oh, very nice disruption there. Now, Windrunner some serious trouble. Can she get away here? She's actually got a blink dagger? I want to say, yeah, she... Wow, okay.
But,
I mean, yeah, blink not bad on any hero. It's actually really good on just about any hero you can think of, barring anti-mage. But still... I mean, it lets her line up the shackles, and more importantly, jump in and immediately silence somebody who needs to be shut up. Like, just jump in and shut Puck down.
Real quick, I want to talk about that fight a little bit. The way that it broke down was simultaneous initiation, not that much communication. Mouse Sports. Fata jumps in with the Puck on the west side, finds out the gyrocopter, and is like, oh my gosh, pop everything. Gets the Dream Coil Waning Rift onto Deaf Ears. A BKB was popped by Loda, and suddenly Puck contributed very, very little to that fight, except for an awesome Atos on the OD. But in general, when they were in that position and Black started moving in towards the east, they just got in such a bad spot. Now, they did have an Observer Ward. Oh, crap. Windrunner actually finding a pickoff on Puck and forcing out a buyback. Didn't actually catch exactly what that was about. But, yeah, they did have the vision on the high ground. They knew what they were up against, but just the timing of a Black's BKB, he got just completely destroyed. And it's that trigger finger, it's that timing that obviously the Alliance was prepared for based on their high ground vision here. They saw the anti-mage coming up top, and they were ready to deal with him. So locked him down hard, but of course cleaning up with the buyback. That's what it's all about. And so Black coming on in, he doesn't have buyback available. This Roche is very risky, but he has his entire team at his back this time around, and I think they're going to be able to take it.
I think it could be a problem here. Shackle goes in. I'm just questioning whether I really wish Windrunner had a Hex this down. Oh, wow. There we go. Dream Call goes down, but the BKB's up. Cooldown gets moved in. Not going to do anything, though, except hit the bear. He's already been getting destroyed. But S4 imprisoned himself loaded now. Uses the Ghost Scepter to try and disengage it now. S4 installed, throws down the Standies and Cliffs. And Black so low. They need to bring him down here. Black, he's got Blink up, though. Can he get away? What's going... What? What are you doing, Black? What was that?
Is that it? Did that just... He has no buyback. Wow. He has 90 seconds down. They take Roche. They can take a full Rax with this. His Blink was off cooldown.
I was just... What was that? Was he... if he was silenced, I clicked on him,
No,
and I saw the blink was up. There were no bars over it. There wasn't silenced.
I mean, they have an Orchid, but no, he wasn't.
Did he lag? Maybe he lagged. That's the only explanation I have there.
It's the only explanation.
He lagged, or there's some more 322 at work. Who knows?
Oh goodness.
But now Koikova gonna beat the stuffing out of Bulldog. Bulldog backs off. There's in fact a gem on the ground, and Koikova wants to pick it up. In fact, he doesn't. He in fact wants to get killed here instead. There we go. He dies.
It can't end this way. I believed in Black. What have you done, Mouse Sports?
Black. In Black we trust.
Oh.
No, it's my fault. I bet on Mouse.
Oh, that's it. That's exactly it.
Good.
Easy rares.
Every time I bet on
easy
Mouse,
life.
they lose. I'm sorry. It happens.
Wow. 30 seconds left on Anti-Mage's death timer. The last stand of Koiko's bear. Fata's puck.
The problem is, you look at the items on Jark, he's going to eat that bear alive. They're not... Oh, maybe 20 seconds, maybe. Puck's in there. Puck gets silenced, though, by the Orchid. Lena's in as well. Laguna Blade, though, actually picks off Aki. Aki gets shut down there. But at the same time, they're losing tier 4s.
What did Loda pop his BKB before Aegis 4? That doesn't make any sense at all, but I guess the Aegis after BKB wouldn't have been that great either. Either way, right now. In a dwarf position, going to do some damage to Synderen, try to bring him down, but Ghost Scepter will keep him up and kicking them. Rocket Barrage is unfortunately not going to be enough to finish the job. Entangled up, there's the right click. Anti-Mage does find a kill of his own, but holy crap. This game, I mean, at this stage, I was afraid for that Mouse would just lose the game outright 20 minutes ago. Now at this stage, their Ancient is exposed with only 3,600 HP up against a Nature's Prophet, and Black is up and kicking. I don't know.
Prophet, not to mention, has a ton of damage. He's swinging really, really hard there.
I almost don't want to believe again. I mean, I was hurt before, Black, but you know, it could happen. It still could. He is in such a farm state, such a monster. It's possible.
Look at Nature's Prophet. He's sitting on 8,000 gold. Oh, wow, he's actually buying up the Scotty right now. He's sitting on 8,000 gold because you know what? Why not Bulldog? Because you can.
Well, when you farm into a 51-minute game and you end up connecting with 8 kills and 14 assists, adding up to 293 CS, I would say, yeah, you can pretty much buy whatever damn hell you want. So we'll see it, but Scotty is up, Black as well, going in mad mode on the mid lane. They've pushed out the top far enough. It's not going to be an issue. Backdoor protection is actually not on the Ancient. No, it is. I forget if they fixed that or not, but either way, right now, Black coming in for the kill, going in for this tier 3 here. Going to be able to bring this down quickly, but Fortification already up and at him. They want Gyrocopter in this. He's Ethereal Blade, and he wants to use it. He wants to disarm Black, but I don't know if they'll get the opportunity coming on in. The tier 3 still stands, demolished down by the bear number 1. And actually is a Hex on the Lone Druid, trying to finish him off. They're closing in on top of him, but they're not going to try to overextend it. And the Dream Coil instead comes out onto everybody over here, just allowing them to disengage. They don't want to make this.
Doesn't die for a change. Oddly enough, somehow actually gets away. They decide not to attack it. They're allowed to recall. But now, I mean, right now they were forced to disengage because Nature's Jerk over there was busy pushing their bottom racks, and he was going to rack them faster. I mean, thing is, like, even if they get 1 racks, they can't throw it, and then it's megas. They come out and return, so they had no choice but to disengage. And this is going to be a problem. Like, every time they go to push, guess who's going to be over there? I mean, the problem is they have to kill Bulldog twice. A, get rid of his cooldown, get rid of his buyback, and then kill him again, so we can't do that before they even think about trying to push and racks.
No! Black is going to be defensively disrupted. He is going to be able to pop a BKB right out of that, going hard onto S4 with that Abyssal Blade active, just getting as much damage as possible. They only get this Sandy's Eclipse off, nothing more. Black is going to be able to blink on out of there, learning from his mistakes. We are going to see damage traded back and forth between the Bear and the Bulldog, but it is going to be a dead in the ground Lone Druid Bear that is not going to be able to be resummoned, and that is a very unfortunate part of this matchup here, but OD is also down to the count. 62 seconds. He does technically have... No, he doesn't actually. 200 gold away. That is a very unfortunate 200 gold.
Looks like, yeah, he will. He will manage to pick that up, but... Oh, dear God. Just look at Bulldog. I mean, this is another big problem for Anti-Mage. When he's trying to chase up... Like, even if they get OD down, he's got to try and deal with Bulldog, who's got a Skadi. So trying to lock him down is really irritating, and even just trying to chase Gyrocopter around if he's being Skadied and stuff like that. And then Gyrocopter's got an Ethereal Blade, and Ethereal Allies, Ethereal hit... yeah, just hit Anti-Mage, but that's really, really frustrating. In fact, he's got to try and fight all these 3 heroes. And the problem is, I think this is getting to the point where Lone Druid should start transferring the items off the Baron onto him, because the Bear is just getting shredded every single fight. It's too easy to pick him off. I think he should be moving the majority of the good items to himself. because he's going to stand a much better chance of putting them to work, in my opinion. It's just he gets Lone Druid. He gets to that point. Sure, he's got 12 item slots, but it gets to the point in the game where the bear, for all its value, it's too easy to kill. You just kill it with 10 hits or so. It just gets focused down way too easily.
Alrighty then, so at this stage in the game, we are down to 54 minutes. 30 to 34 is the only kill count, surprisingly, but as far as this current matchup here, 15,000 gold in favor of Alliance, only 8,500 though, as far as experience goes. Either way, right now, it's just such a tense matchup here, and some may think that we're cheering for one team or another, but it's just about the comeback aspect and how far behind Mouse Sports. It could have been a done and out game, but they stood fast, and they actually still have a chance to take this one away, but unfortunately for them, Anti-Mage is just about item capped. Of course, he can sell his treads, kind of redundant with the BOTs, but after that, he can pick up exactly one item, and that is his cap. So we'll see exactly what he ends up going for, if he is going to be... I guess he should just buy back his Black King bar, just bring that up to 10 seconds once again.
Yeah, that's definitely probably the most logical thing to do. The problem is they just need to somehow find and shut down Bulldog. I mean, they can't pick off Bulldog here, and they're... Oh, wow. Okay, that hurts. That really hurts. Okay, now we've got a Blink hero who has a Hex, and that is really, really dangerous for Anti-Mage. It's going to come down, pretty much she's going to blink, Hex Anti-Mage, and then Orchid pass. If she does that, no defensive disruption, and Anti-Mage is dead in the water. And then you come up Chain Hex, and he is so screwed. Unless, the bear comes in with some miracle stuns and holds them off, who knows. We've seen bigger bullshit coming out from that bear with those roots. But right now, Bulldog, just looking to get a Satanic now. It's pretty much all else he can get there. I'm just looking at Loader's items as well. Loader as well, probably looking for a Satanic next as well, I guess, after he finishes keeping... I mean, he's also got to save stuff for buybacks as well. But yeah, I mean, look at all these items. I'm pretty sure a lot of these items, these Salt Cuirass and all this, should move off the bear, because the bear, despite 15 armor, is not living long regardless, so... Especially when you're getting wilded away by Outlord the Barrow, who's just, you know what, I don't even give a crap about your armor, and just goes right past it.
Yeah. The only difference there, and one big thing, is that after 45 seconds, it's actually a big shackle coming across. This should be a pick-off here, but Fata going to come on in. As for immediately pops his BKB, but it's already expired. Now coming on in, Quickfoot taking out a lot of damage, gets forced away. Here's Black with the BOTs coming on in, but immediately Hex taking so much damage, and that is it for him. Buying back, he's going to jump to the front lines as quickly as possible. Luckily, none of his allies have fallen just yet, but he himself losing one of two very, very crucial lives as they try to make their last stand here.
That and the bear's dead again with all these items. He gives another 10 seconds to get that back up and running. Yeah, I mean, that bear just drops so quickly. It just gets focused down. Just gets blown apart, and suddenly you've got a Lone Druid who doesn't do anything except sort of walk around and look and provide lifesteal for Anti-Mage. That's about it. And I mean, he almost got brought down as well afterwards. Now Anti-Mage up the front of the fight. Looks like he's actually trying to build an Assault Cuirass, I guess. I don't really see him turning that into Mjolnir.
Good question.
He's got a Hyperstone.
Yeah, I see that, and I really don't have a good answer for you.
I mean, it's not bad. I mean, +5 armor for his teammates. And I mean, sure, the bypass there from Outward Barrow goes right past it, but of course he's still blocking damage from Gyrocopter as well as the Bulldog as well. Now this tower looks like it's going to go down. We've got a home missile going to go in, just going to stun the bear, pick it off. Can they try and drill it down? Or they're just going to leave it there for the moment. The poison getting stacked up as well. But that tower is pretty much gone. And the problem is they've got to split up because all three lanes are being pushed right now. The super creeps pushing in pretty hard, and they had to divert. Fortunately for them, for Mouse Sports, Alliance aren't pushing in just yet, but the tower is down. And this is looking like Mega's pretty soon, Blaze.
Yeah. It's only a matter of time. Now we do see, still all the items on the Bulldog's bear, even though the Bulldog himself, I believe, has buyback. No, he keeps on buying stuff, so not going to have buyback himself, just saying, okay, if the bear dies, I die with him. Either way, right now, this is, honestly, such a good position for Alliance because they can just slow siege us all day long. The Rax regen is something, but compared to the amount of damage that's flying back and forth right now, it's going to be pretty easy for them to take these racks down in the midst of the chaos unless it's a very one-sided fight in favor of Mouse Sports. If they can get their perfect initiation off and get the exact timing they need to get kills, great for them. But right now, they are getting pushed in from all sides. Black's buyback is ticking down 4 minutes and counting, and they are just so far behind what they need to be.
I mean, the big problem with Black here, he can't get too aggressive because if he does... Oh, wow, Fata getting picked off hard. The phase shifts in time, the pass Can't defensive disrupt. Somehow he's still alive. He will get picked off by the snap in a second. Yeah, he does clean up there. Shiva's guard gets popped as well. And now Black commits. He's going for Loader. Loader's his first target. Finishes him off with the Mana Void, but he's low. He's under half health. And he will get snapped in half. He is broken in two by the Obsidian Destroyer. And Koikovar is soon to follow. GG is called. And we'll have Mega Creeps on the field in just a second. But that concludes the Mjolnir Cup. Alliance once again take first place and Mouse clean up second. I would say the Mouse did need that 50 points though. That will put them in just behind EG in third place, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely got a lot out of the cup as a whole, getting the second place there, but Mouse Sports, they did try to make this a very, very interesting match, and they did. I mean, this game was a very, very solid and exciting one to see back and forth, but yeah, it's just, there were a couple of mistakes here and there, and it's stuff that Mouse Sports couldn't afford. In the end, Alliance pushes in, just shows why they are considered the best team in the world, and that throne has yet to be directly contested. I mean, right now, they are just such methodical players with individual skill out the ass, and it's just been able to just stomp all over a lot of the teams in these tournaments. Mouse Sports go down fighting, but in the end, they do not bring it to a game 3. We see 2-0 in favor of Alliance. They shut it out hard, and that was just really, really good fight for them. Really good match as a whole, and great games from them today, specifically. Now, one thing I want to highlight on for that last fight was the attempted initiation on from Fata on everybody else. What ended up happening was one of the Scythe carriers, I can't exactly pick it out because there are 4 friggin' ones on the board, but I think it was Windrunner. Either way, whoever did, all they did was stay far enough away from the fight that they could actually Scythe and hit the Scythe, click on Puck, and then as soon as Puck blinks in, instantaneously he was hexed. So they had it queued up, essentially. And when he jumped in, there was just no time for him to actually get his own abilities repertoire off. And from there, the fight broke down very, very quickly with only one anti-mage available. But really, really fun to see. In the end, still 676 GPM from Black's anti-mage. But you can farm 700 creeps. It's not going to take the game and take it out of Alliance's hands. Just too strong for that. They played extremely well. Really liked S4's Outward Devourer, and just I love the game as a whole. Do you have any thoughts on the match yourself?
Yeah, to be honest, I think their biggest problem was, like, literally in that end game, they had one hero, and that was Black. You know, you look at Lena, absolutely commits nothing to the fight. Lauren Druid, all his items on the bed. Bed dies so damn quick. Shadowed him, obviously, soft support, just getting blown apart. And Puck, you know, even if he gets the perfect initiation off, what happens? You know, he pops Dreamcore, pops Waning Rift, and then you've got Gyrocopter, BKB, Outward Devourer, BKB, and they just laugh it off. And I mean, Nature's Prophet might care a little bit, but he wasn't up that far in front. But it's just, none of Puck's items or skill builds can counter the BKB. Like, he needed a hex. If you could blink in and hex somebody, that would be a good opener. But because all of his items completely countered by BKB and his spell list as well, just, well, it was Black against the world. That was it. The other 4 heroes existed to draw some attention away from him for a few seconds while they died horribly.
Yeah. And that's pretty much how it worked itself out, obviously. A lot of it came down to Koikova having such a rough time in mid and jungle, just getting picked on so very much, and that gave a big advantage early on to Alliance, which they capitalized on with some very, very effective pushing. So they take it away, and that is, like you said, going to conclude the Premier League Season 5 Mjolnir Cup. It's been a very, very long day. Looking currently at 7 o'clock by me, that's what, wow, that, it's not 11, is that 12 hours, or, I'm trying to remember, I think it's 11 hours, 11 full hours of casting, and that is quite a doozy for myself. I'm sure you feel the same way, especially since you have had a cold today. So, thanks for sticking to it and lasting all day long with me. Yeah, do you have any other thoughts before we do shoutouts and conclude?
No, I'm looking forward to, well, the next cup's on the 10th, isn't it? 10th of July. I'm looking forward to that.
So, that's going to be another interesting one. Obviously, the teams have shown that each and every one of them have a very specific right to be here. They have their own strategies, have very exciting games, and it's been awesome to be able to broadcast for everybody tuning on into the Premier League. But if I had to give any specific shoutouts, of course, to the teams and to the players, also the viewers tuning on in either through Dota TV or Twitch.tv, and just sticking with us, especially if there's anybody that stayed in since the stream went live like 11 hours ago. Absolutely super shout out to you. That's incredible, but I could barely do it. I would be highly impressed if anybody else could. Either way, awesome cup in general, and yeah, shout out to Norton for sponsoring the Premier League, of course, and jumping in to make sure that we have the best prize pool we can offer to these teams here for just providing some of the best entertainment there is. I mean, no better game than Dota to set this up, and love all these matches here. Really, really cool. So thanks, Triumph, again for casting it up with me, and if that's all.
Yep, I'll see you next week, man.
See you guys. Thanks for tuning on in.